Welcome back to the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify, Apple, or Google, please leave a 5-star rating and a review. It supports the podcast and it doesn't cost you anything. This content is brought to you by Uphold, which is a great cryptocurrency platform that I've been using since 2017, so I can vouch for this platform. They have 10 plus million users, 250 plus cryptocurrencies, and they're available in 150 countries. You can also trade precious metals and equities on this platform. If you'd like to learn more, please visit the link in the description. Well, folks, President Biden today took a shot at crypto, and I'm going to play the clip for you, but here's what he had to say in regards to the debt ceiling deal between Democrats and Republicans. Obviously, we know this debt ceiling business is just a show. They have to keep printing money. That's how the system is built. And whether it's Democrat or Republican, they have to continue kicking the can down the road because then the entire economy is going to collapse, right? The money printing is a big part of it. They've been doing QT after the record-breaking inflation we had, and they've been fighting it. Of course, the Fed has been trying to raise rates and lower inflation, but eventually the system has to continue going, right? They're going to have to go back to QE. So the debt ceiling, of course, is just another dog and pony show and political grandstanding, and everybody's going to fight over it, but they all know this thing has to continue. So Biden, one of his statements was, I'm not going to agree to the deal that protects wealthy tax cheats and crypto traders while putting good assistance or food assistance at risk. And here, Gabor Gurbox of VanEck said he forgot to say that they printed and squandered trillions of dollars. That's why we have problems. And Gabor is absolutely right. You know, they're going to try to blame all these different things, use certain talking points. And the fact that Biden threw in crypto traders in here is really ridiculous. If you live in the United States, guess what? You have to pay taxes. You have to pay capital gains taxes, short-term and long-term. I know that for sure. I've invested in crypto and sold and made profits, and I had to pay the government a ridiculous amount of taxes, right? And it's unbelievable that he's trying to say, these people who are tax cheats and so forth. It's like, no, we all pay the taxes. And if the IRS is set up in certain rules, you take advantage of those rules. You don't break them, but you take advantage of the rules that are there. But the problem is they're ridiculous spending and they continue money printing, right? That's why the government has to continue to raise the debt ceiling. But if you try to blame that on wealthy individual or crypto traders, that's just asinine, man. It's unbelievable, but this is the dirty game of politics. And of course, Biden is getting a lot of his negative crypto talking points from Janet Yellen and some of the other folks in the Biden administration. I'm surprised he even brought it up because half the time he's, not even there. He's in cognitive decline. And whether you're a Democrat or Republican, I should say, even if you're a Democrat, you have to admit that. I'm in the middle. I'm more of a moderate, and I go with the best candidate. There's certain things I like that Republicans do, and there's certain things I like that Democrats do, but I don't agree with every single thing they both parties do. And so I wish there was a true competitive third party. I know there's the Libertarian Party, and maybe that's the camp I fall in, but it sucks. And of course, now throwing crypto in the mix, trying to say that people who invest in crypto are cheating for some reason. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable what's happening here. But this is the nonsense we're dealing with, and why we see Operation Choke Point 2.0 and all the attack against crypto. So let me play the clip for you. Here's Biden saying it himself at the G7 summit.
I'm not going to agree to a deal that protects wealthy tax cheats and crypto traders while putting food assistance at risk for nearly 1 million Americans.
So there you have it, straight from Biden's mouth, and unbelievable that he's trying to go after crypto traders. Like we're such a small group, and we all have to pay our taxes, so there's no cheat here. But once again, we got to vote, folks. This is why crypto, I think, is going to be a big item on the ballot. I'm not saying it's the most important or in the top 3, but it's going to be a big item for a lot of voters, especially when you have this type of rhetoric coming from the president. Now, speaking of politics in DC, Brian Armstrong of Coinbase tweeted out the following. He said, "We're running a TV campaign in DC this week to explain why crypto is the most important technology America has to update the financial system. Lots of policy work to do to ensure America isn't left behind." Now, I'm not going to play the clip because I don't want to have any copyright issues, but of course, you guys can go check it out yourself. But the reason why I'm sharing this is the work that has to be done. Advocacy, education. We got to get members of Congress, more of them on board. We have a good amount right now, Republicans and Democrats that support crypto, but we need more because we need comprehensive legislation passed to help this industry to grow. And yes, it's twofold. It's one, it's protecting innovation and not stifling it. And two, it's protecting consumers, right? Are there scammers in the crypto industry? Of course, just like there are scammers in every other industry, right? Bad actors, bad people exist in the world. That's since the beginning of society, right? And they're going to try to exploit and do different things, but that doesn't mean you throw out the baby with the bathwater, right? That doesn't mean that you stifle this innovation, because guess what? It's moving overseas. The jobs, the economic benefits are moving overseas, and too bad some of these clown regulators like Gary Gensler and even corrupt Elizabeth Warren and Brad Sherman, are trying to kill it. And a part of that is you kill the startups, not so much the tech, because I don't think they can stop it, but I think they want to slow it down so the big incumbents can come in and take over. Now, speaking of legislation here, Tom Emmer, he reiterated some statements about his new bill called the Securities Clarity Act, which is, of course, looking to provide the crypto industry with clear regulations, especially as it relates to the SEC and what's a security and what's a commodity. And he tweeted out, "Last week, I introduced the Securities Clarity Act with Representative Darren Soto, which clarifies the regulatory classification of digital assets that provide market certainty for innovators and near jurisdictional boundaries for regulators. Here's what others are saying about our bill." Here, Coin Center is saying, "This is the smartest approach we have seen to provide clarity about how securities laws applies to digital assets." Blockchain Association is saying the Securities Clarities Act would go a long way towards providing regulatory clarity for the securities treatment of digital assets, and we are proud to support its reintroduction. Here, Crypto Council for Innovation said, "We commend Representative Tom Emmer and Representative Darren Soto for their commitment to the American innovation with the reintroduction of this bipartisan or important bipartisan legislation." Here's another item for support from the Digital Chamber of Commerce. "The Securities Clarity Act is crucial legislation that provides much needed certainty for investors, consumers, and businesses." And folks, I will be interviewing Representative Darren Soto this week, so you don't want to miss this interview. And we're going to talk about all these things. And of course, he's a Democrat. I've interviewed Tom Emmer and many other Republicans, but it's great to have a Democrat on board here working with these Republicans on this super important legislation and for the future of the United States here, because this is the next tech boom, right? Look at the benefits of us embracing the internet and how that created a lot of companies and jobs and so many economic benefits, right? I mean, it just changed the world with the internet and the growth of it and e-commerce and all these different things. Well, that same or another opportunity like that is here, and possibly even bigger because of how big blockchain is as a global technology and asset class. So it's much more competitive this time around. So we got to get it right. So I'll be asking Representative Darren Soto all the questions about this bill and everything that's going on in the SEC and much more. Now, the Winklevoss twins, Tyler and Cameron, they tweeted out a photo of themselves here saying that they said, "Great meeting today with the FSA in London, which is the Financial Conduct Authority. Refreshing to engage with a forward-thinking regulator. Gemini secured an e-money license in the UK 3 years ago and have been operational since. We have many employees and customers here in this vibrant market. The UK is a global leader in financial markets because it has a tradition of thoughtful regulation. We are here to encourage them to keep this tradition going." So a lot of folks, once again, finding the open door and green light from other countries and regions. And right now in the US, that's not happening. Now, speaking of Gemini and the Winklevoss twins, well, Digital Currency Group missed their $630 million Genesis debt payment to Gemini. Genesis, Gemini, and other stakeholders are weighing whether to allow Digital Currency Group more time to stave off a potential default. Man, I hope they get this crap sorted out soon because, look, it's the users who are getting the hurt here, right? The Gemini Earn users. It really sucks that this happened. Obviously, this is a lot more of the fallout from last year with all the collapses with FTX and so forth. And I'm hoping they get this sorted out soon because this could get ugly, with further lawsuits. And Digital Currency Group is currently suing the SEC over, or I should say Grayscale, which is owned by Digital Currency Group, is suing the SEC over Bitcoin spot ETF. So, when you have these things lingering behind you and you're trying to sue the SEC, it's not good. It doesn't put you in the right lighting here. When you have the SEC could bring these things up, like, look at what's happening with, they can't even get their funds back. There's the crypto market's a scam. You see all these things happening, right? You can imagine Gary Gensler, Elizabeth Warren, these folks are going to use these things as an example. But if they can resolve it and get it out of the way, it's one less hole in the armor of Digital Currency Group and Grayscale that the SEC can poke at, right? So let's hope they get it sorted out. But it really sucks that this has not been resolved yet. Now, Indonesian Governor Ridwan Kamil says he wants to bring more Bitcoin mining into the country. He's quoted as saying Bitcoin mining is helping to create an affordable price of energy. So I think a lot of countries and regions are recognizing the economic benefits of embracing Bitcoin mining in the crypto industry. And obviously here in the United States, Bitcoin mining is booming. As far as control of the hash rate, the mining pool in North America, which includes the US, of course, is leading the world right now. And that's a good thing. And Texas, there's a lot of Bitcoin miners, but, there are folks who are trying to attack that and try to stop it. So we got to keep fighting, but other countries are recognizing the benefits. Now, here's some really good news. At least Apple's crypto policy softens as STEPN offers in-app digital asset trading. Apple and the App Store, of course, they've been, kind of really on the fence with a lot of crypto apps and NFTs. They've been, kind of going back and forth on banning, stopping, trying to get more data. But it looks like, they're kind of opening things up a bit here, which is a good sign because, folks can't go to the marketplace and get these apps. It really hurts adoption, right? So STEPN users will be able to buy, sell, and trade the game's NFT sneakers without having to leave the app. We're saying this is the biggest thing happening in crypto and not that many people know about, according to a STEPN executive. Last week, the once widely popular Web3 game Axie Infinity announced it will be available for download on Apple's App Store, signaling that perhaps the powerful tech giant is warming up to the idea of allowing blockchain-based mobile games to to operate on its iPhone. Now, STEPN, a blockchain-powered fitness app that incentivizes users with crypto rewards, has announced arguably even bigger news. The Australia-based company said its users will now be able to buy and sell STEPN's digital assets without being forced to exit the app and use external marketplace. So this is good, guys. This is nice to hear. Hopefully Apple doesn't have like a bipolar episode here and all of a sudden reverse a lot of this. But I think they see the writing on the wall. If they ban these apps, right, they're going to lose people. And especially if Android, Google is not doing the same, and those apps are available there. So I think Apple, they got to recognize this tech is here to stay. There's going to be different apps, NFTs, crypto involved. Yes, they have to do their due diligence. You have to make sure there's not scammers and people doing bad things. Of course, you have a policy, but you don't want to block everything. I mean, this thing is here to stay, and I'm sure Apple's working on some crypto plans. Wouldn't surprise me if we hear something this year. Now, Bitcoin payments app Strike integrates Tether's USDT stablecoin. So recently we heard Tether, they were adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet. Now, this Strike app, which is Lightning Network integrated, which is founded by Jack Mallers, here they're going to integrate USDT. So it seems like a big partnership. So the move means USDT on-ramps and off-ramps and settlements are now possible within the Strike app, Tether CTO Paulo Ardino told the block. So more integration of stablecoins, and it's a big battle between USDT and USDC. And I think right now USDT is winning. USDT has been the top stable coin for a long time. And this is why the United States needs to figure things out, because you have clown regulators and these folks who are attacking, circling USDC, and we got to get this right. But adoption, nevertheless, and Strike, they're targeting a lot of countries. So here it says the announcement comes 2 days after Strike launched its app in 65 new countries from a previous base of the US, Argentina, and El Salvador. The app allows users to instantly send and receive Bitcoin utilizing the Lightning Network. Users can also send payments within the platform and buy Bitcoin. So the on and off ramps being built globally. And if the United States does not get its act together, people in other countries are just going to be building there and adopting there. Now, here's some interesting news. Huobi ordered to stop operating Malaysia. Huobi is, of course, a crypto exchange. Huobi is not really like a very popular crypto exchange, and it's pretty small for the most part, but this is interesting that this is happening. I don't know if any of you folks overseas are using Huobi, but it says here, Malaysia's securities regulator said Monday it has taken action against Huobi Global and its CEO Leon Lee for operating a crypto exchange without prior registration. The Securities Commission Malaysia, which oversees the regulation of securities and digital assets, issued a public reprimand denouncing Huobi for operating illegally. The agency first placed Huobi on its investor alert list last year for operating without registering as a recognized market operator, viewed as a serious offense under the Capital Markets and Services Act. So yeah, we'll see. Huobi will probably get it figured out. They'll pay a fine and whatever and get it back up. But nevertheless, just heads up that this is happening. Now, here we got another crypto exchange, but this one's been shut down. Crypto exchange Hotbit shuts down 9 months after criminal probe. I honestly have never heard of this exchange. I don't know if any of you guys have or used it. A crypto exchange Hotbit never recovered after authorities froze its assets and forced it to suspend trade last year. So this is going back to last year, and it looks like they pretty much are done. It says here, for 5 years and months, the Hotbit team has been proud to participate in a wonderful crypto show with 5 million users. However, it is with great regret that we have made the decision to stop all centralized exchange operations from May 22nd, 2023. Hotbit said in a notice posted on its website. Hotbit cited the aftermath of a criminal investigation opened last August for its decision to shutter. Hotbit had suspended deposits, withdrawals, and live trades for several weeks after authorities froze its operational funds. So, look, in one part, a lot of these exchanges have to get their books in order. They have to get their licenses, and that's part of, this asset class growing. We do need to have licenses, transparency reports, right? After the FTX collapse, we saw a lot of exchanges started doing proof of reserves and Merkle tree audits, which, in hindsight, you look back and you're like, why weren't these things in place? But we need to have that because, the regulations are not fully there all over the world. And we need the exchanges to have insurance and to do the right thing here. So, once again, I haven't used Hotbit, but if you guys did, definitely let me know in the comment section. Here are some HBAR news. Many of you know I hold a HBAR token in my portfolio. Very bullish on HBAR. They tweeted out today, we're excited to announce that the Karateka, if I'm saying that right, which is a playable NFT fighters-based real-world game project, the Web3 game built by the Game On Fan app, leveraging the IP of Karate Combat, is coming to Hedera. So big news. More and more building on the Hedera blockchain, powered by Game On's PlayNext platform and the Hedera network. Karateka aims to increase fan engagement by providing fans with a unique immersive experience through NFTs in the form of questing and live fantasy PvP card battling games. So this is interesting. And I love this. Is the news I want to see if I'm holding a token of a specific blockchain, right? More adoption and more building on that blockchain. And I know some folks, sometimes they are like, hey, but is the token being used? But remember, folks, it doesn't always have to be the token being used, because the token helps grease and helps the blockchain to function, right? And even if the token itself is not being used, the tokenization, the building on the blockchain gives it more value, right? Metcalfe's law, network effects. So the more adoption, the more valuable the blockchain and network becomes, and of course, its native token. So this is great. This is what you want to see. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, definitely go study Metcalfe's law. And I'll give you a quick example. Look at Facebook. Before Facebook even ran ads and monetized anything, they had millions of dollars in valuation, right? And with investors. Why? Because they had network adoption. People were on the platform using it. So the potential values there, right, for monetization, usage, and all that jazz. So that's what folks need to understand. The network getting adoption makes it valuable. And we've even seen that with Ethereum and all these different things that were minted on ETH with ICOs and these different projects. So great news here for Hedera. All right, guys, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button, and I'll talk to you all later.